So to use Remine, you're going to first of all go to MyBore Central, and you're familiar with that. This is what you see when you log into MyBore Central. If you scroll down, right here is Remine. Here's a little icon or tile that you can press to get to Remine. So when you click on that, it takes you to the Remine screen, or Remine app as they call it. By the way, this will work on mobile as well. You can use the Remine app on mobile, although I think it's a little easier to use on desktop. But at any rate, you're going to come up with a major screen here, which is just your start screen, and it shows different things like property notification, save search and listing updates, engage, market pulse, things of that sort. And the main thing about this is, Remine is actually designed to be a way for you to, almost like a real estate app for use with clients. It's a freebie because, well, it's not free. You're paying MyBore for it, but MyBore is providing this as part of your dues and your technology fee. Part of that money goes towards providing this service, this app to you. So whether you like it or not, you have it. One of the most useful things about this app is the search function. So you're probably going to spend most of your time searching on the app. And so there's a couple things I'd like to show you about the app. Now, first of all, you have up here, once you get to the search page, you're going to see a bunch of properties around here, and you're going to see filters and different things that you can use with this. And you have a choice between listings. If you click listings, it's going to show you all the listings, if there are any, or properties. It's going to show you all the properties in the area. And so the properties tab is basically using public record information and past sales information. So these are all the homes that it's showing right now. And there's some cool things that you can do with this. So right now, this particular area, we're off of Brook School Road, and a fairly sizable neighborhood here. And it is, let's see, what's the major cross street here? Looks like it's just north of, there's Brook School Park, so just north of 116th Street. So let's say that I'm interested in prospecting this neighborhood up here. It has lots of homes in it. And I want to see if there's any people that are good possible listing suspects. So I can go in here and they've got these little tabs down the side. And so one of the things I can do, you see this tab here, it says sell score. And so if I click on that, it gives me a selling score of high, medium, and low. High means that there's a high likelihood that that person may be ready to sell. Medium means there's a medium likelihood, and then low means it's probably not too likely that they're going to sell. So let's say I want to find the ones that are high. All right, so if I click the high button and click apply, it shows me the ones that are of a high likelihood of selling. And so I can move this map around too, as you can see, and it will pop up any properties that fit in that vein. Okay. So
hey Jim, I'm curious, what data or how are they determining?
They're determining it by, it's a combination of length of time, home equity, the kind of those two things, with the increasing property values, but every home's increasing in property value. So they kind of look at those things, how long the homeowner's been there, and those kind of things. So these are people that they've determined may be a high likelihood to sell. Now, what you can do is, okay, so they have search tools over here or map tools, just like all the maps, just like MyBore and any of these maps. So you can do a circle, you can do a square, you can do a polygon. So maybe in this case, I want to do a polygon, and I just go out here and I just want to collect all of these little blue dots that are allegedly people that might be ready to sell. Okay, so now I've got a list of them over here of who those properties are. So there's some cool things I can do with this information. So for instance, one of the things that I can do with this is I can select all of these. Okay, so now I've selected all of these properties and I can add them to a cart. Now, a cart is just really a place where you can save them. So I'm going to add these 9 properties to a cart, and I'm going to name it possible sellers. Okay, so I create my cart, possible sellers. I add the properties to the cart. Okay, so now I have 9 properties in my cart. Okay, so I can go to carts and I can see these possible sellers, and here's my 9 properties. So there's some things I could do with this. So for instance, I could click all of those, and then I could send mailers to them. So if I click send mailers, I name my campaign. And I'm going to build a mailing campaign. And what it's going to do is it's going to take me to an associated website, and it's going to allow me to order mail and send mail to these. I could do postcards, I could do letters, I could do a variety of things. But so it's going to show me this. And of course, there's a charge for this, but you could do postcards, for instance, and then you just decide who you're sending these to, and just sold whatever. So you've got lots of ways that you could send these cards out, and then it will produce those at a fee and mail them for you to those people in your cart. So it's a really easy way for you to be able to communicate with those people that might be good prospects for selling their property. Now, something else you can do here as well that's kind of interesting. So I'm going to go back to the search function, because I want to show you some of the other capabilities of this this search function. So if I come up here to, I go to Brooks School here, Brooks School Road, and I go up into this area up here. Well, actually what I can do, if I want to go to a specific neighborhood, I can type it right here. So let's say I want to go to Brooks Chase in Fishers. All right, and I look down here and here's neighborhood Brooks Chase. Okay, so I choose that, and now it automatically draws a little map around all the properties in Brooks Chase. And you can see it breaks them up into little segments here. Okay, and one of the things that I can do then is I can sort these by various criteria. So I could sort them by property value, by how much home equity they have, by how long they've owned the home, by the sell score, by the absentee, by if they're in a flood zone risk, and et cetera. One of the interesting things with this particular neighborhood is if I go in here and I go absentee, okay, and I want all the properties that are corporate owned, in absentee in state, absentee out of state. In other words, these are investment properties by and large. If I hit apply, it now will show me how many properties in that neighborhood are investment properties. And it's kind of interesting if you look at that and you try to zoom in on this a little bit. Okay, to where I'm getting the actual little dots. If you click on the absentee, and you can see it's color coded. So these are corporate, the blue ones. These are all corporate owned homes. These this color, the lighter, these are absentee owners that are in the state. And then any of these really orange ones are out of state absentee owners. And you can see that in this particular neighborhood, the majority of the homes are owned by corporate owners or absentee owners in state, meaning that they're probably rental properties. So if you've got a client that's considering buying in Brooks Chase, you just want to be aware that there's a whole bunch of rentals that are in that neighborhood. Now, if you wanted to pursue owner occupants, okay, so you could choose owner occupants and get rid of these others. Okay, now it's going to show you only the owner occupants in the neighborhood. Okay, so these are the people that own. And so if you wanted to prospect, for instance, for properties in this particular neighborhood, and you don't want it, you want something that's owner occupied so that they're likely to sell it, this might be the choice to use, is owner occupants. And then you could apply a sell score to it of high. And you can see there's one high, maybe you could add mediums. So there's highs and mediums, sell scores of owner occupied homes. So there's a lot of different ways that you can use this. You can also add other filters. So there's filters in here, for instance, you could add for has a basement or has a garage or square footage. There's lots of different things that you could add filters for. So, and over here, you can clear all your filters. So I clear my filters that way. And I clear my Brooks Chase neighborhood. Okay, so now I have just my normal map back of properties. One of the things that I can do, let me zoom back in here where it's showing these little properties. Okay, so here's a neighborhood here, and let's say I'm looking for homes with basements. So I'm going to add a filter in here as a basement. Okay, and so I've added that to my search filter, and here's my filters up here. You'll see them here. So I have a basement. So this will show me then the homes with basements. And as I look around, I can see neighborhoods that doesn't look quite right to me. This is supposedly showing me only homes with basements. Maybe I didn't apply the filter. And filter as basement. Oh, okay, they're coming up over here. So here's your properties with basements right here. And you can sort by over here, you could sort by bedrooms, baths, property value, etc. I find it hard to believe that all those have basements. But that's what they say. Now, if you click on any property, it pulls up the property information for that property. So you can see picture of the house, you can see information about the listing, and what the listing type was, if it was ever listed. It's also got public record information in here, parcel maps, flood risk, location, street view, and et cetera, and key stats about the house, tax assessments and assessed value of the property, market value. It has different market values in here, and history of the property. So it gives you an idea of what went on, different transactions with the property, the mortgage history of the property. So most recently, it's has a $173,000 mortgage through Tucker Mortgage. It gives you a valuation here, and it uses different valuations. It's got Redfin in here as estimates. So if you want to know what the estimate is on it, you can look in here and it tells you. There's a Remine valuation, First American Title, their estimated value. So you have different values that you can get on a property as you pull it up. So this can be useful information if you're maybe trying to list this property. The other thing you can do is you can create a CMA right from this screen. So if you hit create CMA, you're going to have a Remine CMA 360 that you can create. And so it's going to come over here and it's going to have your property here in the center, and you can adjust your criteria in here for what you want included or not included. Distance, you can go 1 mile away from that home to find comparables, and so then you can search for your comparables. It will, at that stage, it's going to pull up your comparables. And so for each comparable, you can look at it to see what it looks like. You can see all the information here, and you can get more information by just hitting a little toggle thing here. It tells you list date, sold date, that type of thing. And so it's going to show you the different ones. Now you could just look at just the closed ones. And so you can pick your results. And of course, it seems to be picking too many. So I need to probably narrow my search down a little bit to a smaller radius. But it gives me comparables that I can use to prepare a CMA, and then it will prepare it for me somewhat automatically. So at any rate, that's CMA or Remine. Questions that you have? Anybody? Is anybody still there?
Yes.
I'm still here.
Okay.
I think it's pretty cool.
It does a lot. You can play around with it, and you can try different search criteria to see how it works. One of the other things you can do, by the way, with this cart thing, if you don't want to, like this cart that I did here, if I don't want to send mailers through the mailing company, but I just want to do my own labels, for instance, you can print mailing labels from this list, and you can choose what address you're sending it to, and even what label type that you want to use to send, and see if 4 or 3 label types here that you can use for address labels. So it does allow you to print mailing labels as well. You can also export or download this list. Right up here, you've got an export button, so you could download it, send it to somebody else that maybe is doing mailings for you. So it does a lot of interesting things. It does more than what I've highlighted here. This is just scratching the surface of what Remine does. It's also a CRM and client engagement tool and those kind of things as well. I don't think it's a particularly good CRM. The CRM that you have with KV Core is much more robust than this CRM, so I wouldn't suggest using this as a CRM. You're much better off with KV Core for a CRM. But it does have capabilities like that. It does have capabilities like a what do you call it, a real estate app that you can send to people, and they can use this to search for properties, and it will let you know when they find things. So at any rate, that's Remine. It's an interesting piece of software that you can use, and again, it's free to you. It's on MyBoard Central, and so you have the freedom to be able to use the